Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm here in Bon Secour, Alabama, and I'm doing this video because God has called me to do this. God has called me to do a lot of things here recently. I've gotten out of the boat, and what started was I had gone to a website last year, a Food for Hungry website, and I just got to looking at it, and I'd always wanted to sponsor a child, but just wasn't sure where to go to and what I could trust. And when I went to Food for the Hungry, I got to pulling it up and looking through it, and I ended up sponsoring a child. This is Emmanuel. Emmanuel is from Uganda, Africa, and has just been a joy in my life. He is so precious. He's 12 years old, and he's got 2 brothers and 6 sisters. And as I got to looking at this website, I saw a thing out there where it said something about to get more involved to become an advocate leader or an advocate. And I thought, God, this is not something that I can do. I can't believe that you would be calling me to do this. And it just kept nagging at me, and I thought, okay, God, if this is what you want me to do, then this is what I'll do. So I signed up to become an advocate, knowing that I'm not very good at speaking in front of a large group of people, but I figured if this is where God is calling me, then I need to be obedient to His calling. So last year I started going out to churches. Actually, I started this year going out to churches and speaking on behalf of God's children, the children that are overseas. Food for Hungry is a great organization. The cost is $32 a month to adopt or to sponsor a child, precious child from several different countries. And I tell you, they touch my heart so much. And to know that we needed to be obedient to God's children to help His children. I have a few scriptures here that one thing that God definitely stresses in the Bible is how we need to help the poor and the oppressed. And a couple of verses I've got here. The first verse is Proverbs 14:31. He who oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. Another verse is Proverbs 19:17. He who is kind to the poor lends to the poor, and He will reward him for what he has done. And then Proverbs 28:27. He who gives to the poor will lack nothing, but he who closes his eyes to them receives many curses. I spoke at a women's conference a couple weeks ago, and had a lady that had come up, and she makes these pillows, and on these pillows she goes and tells stories from the Bible. But the first thing that she had said when she got up to speak was stating that God had called her to do this, but she did not know how to sew, and she's like, God, I'm just this ordinary person. How can you call me to do something like this? And that just really touched me. And the first thing I told her when I got up was, nobody's ordinary in God's eyes. We all have a spiritual gift that He calls us to do. We just have to be obedient to it. And so I feel that's where God has been leading me with the Food for the Hungry. I had a friend ask me today, said, Michelle, these children that are sponsored, are they here in the United States or are they overseas? All the children that are sponsored are from overseas. We have programs here in the United States that can give to the children here that are hungry. But these children that are overseas, Food for the Hungry and World Vision and Compassion, those are the only organizations that are able to help these children to get the food that they need. The thing that Food for the Hungry does is let you know that 88% of the funds, or the money that is given, goes out to the fields, to the missions. They go to the villages, and the money is used to, the first thing that they try to do is build the wells, because a lot of these places you have to go 5 miles just to get a fresh cup of water, where we could just go to the water fountain and we have fresh water, but they are stressed with that. The second thing is they go in and set up churches and set up schools for the kids. They provide medical and food. But the thing I liked the most about Food for the Hungry was the fact that when they go into the villages, they're not just going out there and just throwing the money to them. They go in and they teach them to be self-sufficient. And they'll be in the villages anywhere from 10 to 12 years, however long it takes, to teach them to grow their own crops and just be self-sufficient. And then once that's done, then Food for the Hungry will move on to a new village. But what they will do is they will continue to go back and check on these villages to make sure that everything is still going good. right now, more than ever, with the way the world is going, the way the economy is going, people just don't realize that the food shortages that we're having right now and just the cost of food, how much it may be affecting us, but it's very much affecting these other countries, and it's just putting more stress on them. So I urge you, I mean, find it in your heart, if this is something that God is calling you to do, to go online. You can go to fh.org and check out the website. And if God calls it on your heart like He has on mine, then you can go out and sponsor a child. Just check the website out. I thank you very much, and God bless you.